Okay, good morning, everybody. So I'm so excited because we are all retraining our brain. Some of you already do gratitudes, but I am going to be doing gratitudes every single day. And today my gratitudes are as follows. I'm so happy that I got to play tennis yesterday and my tennis elbow was better. I'm so happy because my daughter Alex took us out to dinner last night for my favorite dinner, which is sushi. And I'm so happy that I got to curl up on the couch yesterday and do nothing. So those are my gratitudes for the day. And I hope you guys are doing yours. And if we have time on Friday, we're going to go over some of our gratitudes for the week. So, because I want to hear everybody's gratitudes today, it's kind of a jam-packed talk that we're going to do. First, we're going to go over our SMART goals. These were my SMART goals starting yesterday. And you are all welcome to use these SMART goals, or you can do your own SMART goals, but I believe they are very, very important for all of us to be consistent with. So you can read here, identifying who on the team wants to game plan, scheduling a sit down with a new person or somebody you haven't seen in a while to catch up, recruiting one customer or one brand partner by the end of the month, and talk to everybody you know about Spotlight 17 and really promote this event and promote the fact that we're getting a new product and be excited and, just excited about what's coming. Okay, so we're going to talk foundationally today, and this is going to be, a little bit of a higher level training than I normally do. And the reason for that is because I think as we set up our week for the end of the year and game plan for the beginning of the month next month and the beginning of the year, I want to really tell you what your highest payoff activities are and how that can really change the game for you. So we've talked a little bit in this group about customers and why it's so important for us to build our customer base. And you can see here in these examples, customers get 3 are free. So our business, once we get our 3 customers, our business is free. That means that our ADO is free, and that means the commissions from our 3 are free typically takes care of our Nerium Edge. So you shouldn't really have any cost to your business if you have 3 customers. You can earn up to $270 in free personal product. Now, when you really think about that, I've been earning free product, $270 in free product for, the last 5 years. I've never not earned free product. I make it a priority. And that free product is awesome because you can interchange it with whatever you want. And that can really help you structure your business on how you want to get new customers. Because I use all of my products, not only for myself personally, but to use as inventory to sample out with people. Nerium gives back another. Of course, every time we get a brand partner or we get a customer, we earn Nerium gives back points towards more free inventory. And this is really helpful to anybody growing a business. Maxing out your customer acquisition bonus to 40% commission, well, everybody would want to do that, right? As a business, you want to make the most amount of money you can possibly make. And when you add the 40% along with the free inventory, you're getting way more than a typical 2.2% on a retail wholesale type of situation. If you're getting customers and brand partners on a weekly basis, that means you're getting a weekly check, and a weekly check is awesome. And if we really put our minds to working this as a real business, wouldn't you expect on a weekly basis to get a check, or at least every couple of weeks get a check for the activities that you're doing and the results that are happening? And then, of course, customers always earn you NLC points. And customers always help you get referrals because they love the product, and they become A-list prospects. And we're going to talk about that. Customers are really the backbone, the foundation of this entire company and this entire business, okay? And we've got such great products. I want you to know, though, the reality of customers go in and out. They don't always stay. They're not always, they don't always do what you want them to do because they're customers, and there's always a shiny object somewhere else. So the way Nerium tries really hard for retention in this business, and not every company does this, but we're pretty lucky, is that Nerium provides free product. They also provide discounts. They also provide free shipping. So there's lots of things that you can talk about with your customers to keep them in the game. And they also get a free website so they can change out their products whenever they want. But as in everything, I will tell you, customers, we're fickle. I'm one too. I don't always stick with everything every single product. I like to try new things. So that's a reality of the business, but people do come back. And that's the most important thing. People come back to the things that work, and we have products that work. Okay, so here's some numbers, you guys, and this is where I want you to kind of take this in and just know that these are examples. These are not, this is a perfect world. A perfect world in your business looks like this, okay? So you can kind of see how you can structurally start building your business if you were only doing it by math, and how you wanted to really focus on your business. As we know, what you focus on grows. So you have to start with yourself. You have to have a personal ADO in Nerium to be an active brand partner. Now, the first thing that Nerium says is, go out and get 3 customers so that your product's for free. What I'm suggesting is go out and get 9 customers. So not only your product is free, but you have a more foundational business that if people go in and out, you'll always have your 3 customers. But if you had a perfect world of 9 customers and everyone was on an ADO, including yourself, you're at 800 in group qualifying volume, just alone, just by yourself, okay? So then you want to go to senior brand partner. So the first thing you want to do when you go to senior brand partner, of course, is you need 3 brand partners. You can't build this business without brand partners if you want to build a big business. If you want to build a business only on customers, you can definitely make money. But if you want to build a foundationally business over time, you have to have brand partners. So you want to go out and get 3 brand partners, and the personal goal is that you want to get everybody their personal ADO, which is 80. And if you have 3 brand partners at 80, that's 240 in volume, personal volume, right, with your brand partners. And then if you help those 3 brand partners go out and get 9 customers each, that's 27 customers in your business times 80, which is 2,160. So that's a foundational senior brand partner, okay? And everybody can do that, but it's our talking points. We have to really emphasize the importance of why we want somebody to foundationally have 9 customers, why we want to foundationally make sure that we have 3 brand partners. If our 3 brand partners go out and get 9 customers and we have our personal ADOs as brand partners, we have 2,400 in volume. We are a senior brand partner every single month foundationally. And there's a little bit of wiggle room there, right? Because we really only need $1,500 $1,500 in volume to be a senior brand partner. So you're on your way to director if you're doing foundational work with yourself and with your brand partners. And that's why, Nerium says, look, we want you to help people to come into your business, help them to achieve success. So start with 3 customers and then help them get 3 more and 3 more. And you know what? There's no time limit. That's the other thing. There's no persecution if you don't hit that. You don't get in trouble. There's no quota you have to meet. But these foundational numbers can get you to a point where you say there's a certain amount of, when you're talking to your team, there's a certain amount of urgency and why you're telling them, look, I'm not telling you this because of what I want. I'm telling you this because I know this is what's going to be good for you and why this is going to help you. So the next thing is you take those 3 brand partners and you help them get 3 brand partners. When you do that, you've got 9 brand partners in your business. 9 brand partners in your business all getting their ADO is 720 in volume. You take those 9 brand partners, you help them with 9 customers each at $80 on a foundational ADO. That's equaling 81 more customers times 80 is 6,400. Now, you automatically, if you're doing this correctly, you've got your 9 brand partners, your 3 went out and got 3. So now you've got 3 senior brand partners and you've got well over the amount that you need for a foundational director. And so as you're building your base of customers, you're also building your base of brand partners. Because remember, you're helping your 3 get their 3. Your 3 getting their 3 makes them a senior brand partner that first month, but to foundationally get them solid, you have to emphasize to them the reason why you want to help them get their 3 customers and why you want to help them get their brand partners. Because remember, that will help everybody grow. And that's why we do this, okay? So the next level is 27. So you take those 9 people and you help them get their 3 foundational senior brand partners. Now you've got 27 brand partners in your business, so you're the team leader. Personal ADOs of 2,160 and 27 brand partners with 9 customers each at $80 equals 243 customers times 80. So now you've got foundationally 19,440 in foundational volume, okay? Now this is a perfect world, and I say that again, but can you see the wiggle room you have? You need 12,500 in group qualifying volume to be a senior director. You need 3 senior brand partners, 1 in each leg, and you need 1 active, personally sponsored brand partner. But if you're moving along in your business and you're building a foundation, you can see here that as you're building, if you're building foundationally, you're solid. And to be a solid car driver, this is what you need. You need to make sure before you go out and buy your car that you have a solid base of business with a little bit of wiggle room. This person, if they were in a perfect world and they were able to have 27 brand partners with a personal ADO and 27 brand partners with 9 customers, this is a very solid senior director. Now, you need 3 senior brand partners, but of course you're going to have 3 senior brand partners because remember, you're helping everybody be foundational. So then you move on to the next one. Now you've gotten 27 people, there are 3. That's 81 brand partners in your business. Personal ADOs of 6,400, and now 729 customers if those 81 people went ahead and got their 9 customers. Now you've got 58,000 foundational volume there. That's an executive director. And when you add that with your brand partners ADOs, your personal, then you have more volume. So you see there you've got even more wiggle room, right? Because a foundational executive director is 37,500 with 1 senior brand partner in each leg, 1 personally active in 1 leg. And the senior brand partners, again, do not need to be your personal sponsor. And now you do it again. You take that 81 people and you times that by 3 brand partners, and you see here the numbers are just off the charts. That's the math. That's the slight edge. That's what this whole business revolves around, is 3 getting 3, getting 3, getting 3, getting 3. So when you look at these numbers, you say, okay, you look at it and you could say, oh my gosh, I could never get there. But you'll be really surprised if you take your time and you're foundational about your core and the activities that you're doing. You have the ability, every single person has the ability to do this, okay? Now, national marketing directors in the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, it doesn't matter. There's no time limit. But really think about it, you guys. In the current job that you have or career, how long did it take you or a new person, if they were starting today in your career? I know my career as a talent agent, would they be able to make a 6-figure income in 1 year? I will tell you, in my company, no one would make a 6-figure income in 1 year. That would never happen. By the way, I didn't make a 6-figure income in my first year, okay, being a talent agent. When I got to the talent agency level, I did not make a 6-figure income. I did not make a 6-figure income till 5 years after I was an agent. And I was an assistant for 5 years. So 10 years it took me to really make a solid 6-figure income, okay? So when you look at these numbers and you're realistic about what a career in something. Now, not everybody wants to have a career in Nerium, and that's another factor that you have to factor into your business. But here's what's awesome. If somebody says, I don't really want to be a national marketing director, I'm not interested in that, but yeah, that would be nice to have the car. Well, you as a leader can say, well, I know how to make you a car driver foundationally if you're willing to do that. If you're willing to do the activities to have a foundational business as a car driver, here's all you need to do. okay? And you have the numbers right there. You know exactly what they need, okay? And it's about anywhere from 27 to 40 team members in your organization that are foundational. And so when you look at these numbers, you can see that they're all achievable, they're all attainable, but they don't happen over time. And that's the reason why Jeff Olson wrote The Slight Edge. And that's the philosophy behind this business. It's not a quick thing. This is a foundational business that happens over time if you work your business foundationally, okay? And I say that, it sounds like I'm being redundant, but it is something that I've had to learn over time myself in this business. And I'm coming up on 5 years, and I'm just now kind of really understanding, okay, you take one person and you help them become foundationally strong. And then if they decide they want to go to the next level, you help that one person go to the next level. So it's not something that happens overnight. Now, granted, some people can meet people that want to go faster. This is just the numbers, you guys. If you want to go fast, if you want to be a national marketing director in 1 year, I can tell you how this looks, okay? So go slow to go fast. The leader promotes the activity promotes the results, okay? So let's say in your first year, you want to make yourself a foundational executive director. Okay, well, that looks like having about 60 brand partners in your business. They all have to have an active ADO, which comes to about 4,800 in volume. And those 60 brand partners with 9 customers each, right? That's foundationally 48,000 just with customers and you having the ADO. But of course, your brand partners have to be able to build foundational senior brand partners and directors in order for you to achieve that. But if you were just looking at it from a customer standpoint of view and 5 new starts a month, this is what your business would look like. Now, you say, well, 5 new starts a month, that doesn't sound like a lot. It really doesn't sound like a lot if you have the customers. And so getting to a foundational business of an executive director in 1 year is very doable if you're following a plan. And so the whole idea behind starting out this new year is if you decide that you want to be foundational, you never want to fall back of getting that car, or you want to go for the car, here's what you need to do. Here's how you have to set up your legs. Here's how you have to deal with your people. And by the way, not every single person says, yeah, I want to build this business, okay? Most people need help building a business because they've never built a business before. They've never been in business by themselves. They've never had to, okay? They've always had a job. So what Nerium is very good at, it's good at giving you a system to help people learn how to build their own business, okay? Because most people need tasks. Most people need, a plan. Every single day they go to work and they know what they're supposed to do. And they've gone to school for it or they've been trained to do it. Well, when you own your own business, there's not a whole lot of training. You have to have that desire and that faith to get there. So when you decide that you want something in your life or you want to build something, you can look at these numbers and you can see that pretty much when you look at the numbers, these are foundational numbers. Now, is it easy, to make this happen? No. Is it a simple plan? Yeah, it's simple. It's simple to do if you do it. But we don't have control over everybody, right? So that's why Nerium says, go out and expose as many people as you can, because people show up in your life that have the desire to possibly become a senior brand partner or become a director. And that's why I say everybody matters. Every ADO matters. When we do inventory and I say, oh my gosh, make sure everybody has their ADO. If you look at your business foundationally, and let's say you're, a business of 25 people and everybody has their ADO and you've made sure they have their ADO because they're 3 or free qualified and it's free. Just do the math on that, you guys. Do the math on how foundational that could be for you. But we let it go because we don't really understand why it's so important. And that's why I'm doing this training today. It's a little bit higher level in terms of, there's a lot of numbers to look at. But when you look at the numbers, it's really not that intense. The intense part is actually finding the people that have a desire and a will and a faith and a belief to want to go out there and build this business. And by the way, if you look at it, you can build it as slow as you want, or you can go as fast as you want. There is no differential, right? Because if you're going slow, you're building way more foundationally, and it makes way more sense than when you're building fast, because when you build so fast, you can't really help all the players. You don't really know what everybody's doing, right? And you're not able to build this foundationally. So you see here in the second year of your business, you can get to a solid regional marketing director by 10 new starts per month. That's your entire team, you guys. That's not you. And when you look at that, that's 121 brand partners, okay, in a year. So I mean, these numbers are crazy, right? And you look at this and you say, well, that I can do that, but that's over time. And that's with people that are willing. And then you look at national marketing director in 3 years. So here's the numbers, guys. This is really unbelievable. Now, remember, you need 3 active brand partners, 1 in each leg. That's just 3 active brand partners who have an $80 ADO that are your personally sponsored. Your personally sponsored don't have to do anything else but have an active ADO. How great is that? Now, do you want to help them become foundational? Yes, if you want to. My first 3 people that I brought into the business have an active ADO. They've done nothing else in the business pretty much. Do I want them to? Of course I do. But that's up to them. Okay, so I'm here to help every single person on the team if they're willing. So that's, as a leader, you have to be okay with the plan of the person, okay? You bring in the person with all the best intentions, and you go with the plan that they have, and you're there to help them. Okay, so you need 3 directors, 1 in each leg, and they do not have to be your personals. So again, wonderful business, because you're not just focused on your own personal people. You're also focused on helping everybody, because you need everybody. You need everybody's ADO, and you need everybody to rank advance if you want to rank advance. If you don't want to rank advance, then you don't need to worry about it, right? But if you're somebody that does, then you want to plan on how you're going to get there. Now, you may need to look at your business, and maybe you might need to ask people in your business, hey, do you have a desire to be a director? Because if you do, I have a plan, and I know how to get you there, and these are the certain activities we have to do, but I can get you there, and these are the numbers that we have to reach, and I want to get you there foundationally so you don't ever have an issue, okay? So you can see here that you need 60% of your entire volume can come from 1 leg, which is awesome, right? If 1 leg starts moving faster because somebody came into your organization that wants to go fast. That happens all the time. Some people want to go slow, and some people decide, you know what? I want to achieve this in less than a year. I want to go for it. I just want to go for it. Okay? That happens, okay? So you can see here that foundationally, the numbers, when you look at it, national marketing director in 3 years with 243 brand partners that are willing, okay? It may take you 1,000 brand partners to get 243 that are willing to build a business, build it foundationally, have their 9 customers, help everybody else get 9 customers. That's a foundational business. And by the way, I didn't get to national marketing director with 243 people without everybody doing something, okay? So it's way more than 243 people maybe in your business, but it's 243 people that want to do business, okay? And all different types of business. They don't all have to want to be superstars in your business. They just have to do a little bit. And that's what's really cool about the whole Nerium experience. So it starts with you. You get your 3 brand partners, right? Then you've got 9. Your 9 go out and get 3. Then you've got 27. Your 27 go out and get 3. Now you've got 81. Your 81 go out and get 3. Now you've got 243, and on and on. And your big picture is that if you had 2,187 brand partners and they all got 3 customers at $80, your total volume on a monthly basis would be $524,000. Would you have a lot of NMDs in your life? And would you be solid? And would a lot of people in your business be solid? And would you have a lot of car drivers? Yes, of course you would. That's the goal, right? We want to help people do what they want to do. So those are really numbers that are based on a perfect world. And of course, we know in any business there is no perfection, right? But it gives you an idea of where you can go and how you can get there. And I think as we start building our book of business in Miriam, we want to make sure that we give everybody a chance to do the best that they can do with whatever they want to do. So how does that work? Okay, so it's simple. Have real results events with lots of guests and customer appreciation events with more guests. Activity promotes results. That's the entire, that's the entire business. I mean, I hate to say it, but it is that simple, you guys. If you're willing to have events, people that you bring into the business are willing to have events, that is what's going to grow your business. Period, the end. There's nothing else that really promotes this product or the information that we have. So when you have an event, you're either promoting the product or you're either promoting the business or you're promoting both. The only way to effectively do that is by having an RRP, having a sit down, sending a video, sitting down and having a cup of coffee, doing a three-way call. You guys all know how to do the activities of this, but really when you think about it, it comes down to how many events are you willing to do and how many events are the people that have come into your business. Now, the best, most effective time in this business is when you bring in a new person that you get them paid and promoted. And by getting them paid and promoted, they have a lot of belief, they've made a little money, they've maybe gotten back their investment, who knows, they're having fun, they're being social. These are all things that you really want to promote with a new person. And even though a lot of times new people are not ready, they're maybe fearful, they might not want to have a party, all of those things. It's our job to make them understand why they want to do this. And if you have to, you want to sit down and say, well, the reason you got into this is why. Why did you come into Miriam? Because honestly, I can help you to foundationally build your business at whatever time frame you want. But this is why you want to do this early on in your new business. You want to get it out there first and foremost because I want to help you make your money back. But second of all, you want to get to all your friends before somebody else does. And you want to make sure that people know what you're doing so that they come to you. And this foundational business that you're growing is forever. You don't have to give up on it. You don't have to, quit. You don't have to do all those things. Miriam makes it very simple for you to stay in this business long term and do whatever you want to do. And that's really another important thing. A lot of people come into Miriam and they don't get fast results, but they're not willing to do anything. And so as a leader, you have to really understand that, you know what, there's many reasons why people don't do anything, okay? And it may not, you may not understand it, I may not understand it, but a lot of times it's because they don't really understand what to do. And so as a sponsor or as somebody who is in the leadership category, it's incumbent upon us to explain to them the reasons why we want to help them. We're not trying to push anything. We're not trying to push our agenda. Our agenda is their agenda. We want them to succeed. So the most important part about Miriam is how you grow your business, and it is with these things. Very simple. Real results events, customer appreciation events, sit downs, coffee, sharing information. That's really it. So I know I kind of went kind of fast today, but I did want to really kind of get that all in, and I hope that was helpful to you guys. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Hi, Annie. Will this be recorded and then so we can listen to it again on YouTube?
Yes, I did record it.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Because you guys can ask anything, honestly.
Hi, Annie. This is Heather.
Heather, are you sick?
I am. I sound ridiculous.
Oh, no.
But anyway, looking at all the volumes, I still don't get everything, and that's okay. But looking at like the volumes that you put on the screen and so forth, I came to understand that our commissionable volume is, of course, where we make, of course, we want to get to the levels that you mentioned, but the commissionable volume is where we are making our paychecks and so forth. I mean, our checks. So if we were to look at the sheets that you put out there, would we be able to determine what our weekly paychecks would be based on the volume that you indicated, or would it be, if we looked at 25%, because of course there's over $1,000 commissionable volume in each of those categories. I don't know. I'm not really making sense, but I think you know where I'm going.
I think you are making sense, and yes, you can totally do the numbers if you want to crunch those numbers. I'll tell you this: if you're doing that kind of activity, you're going to see the money start coming, and you're going to see it first in the weekly checks, and then you're going to start seeing as your residual income grows. That is a slower growth, but once it gets to a certain point, it starts to multiply to
Right.
a bigger thing. So you can do that. The problem with that is, and why I've never really looked that hard at those numbers, is because there's such a huge variable. Everything changes every month, and so it's very hard to determine exactly what you're going to make. But I can say this: if you're doing the activities and you're consistent with it, and you're doing it on a weekly basis, and you're bringing people into your business, not just yourself personally, but your people are doing the same thing, and you've got kind of an ebb and flow with everybody doing something, you're going to see your weekly checks and your differentials and all of that with not only customers but brand partners. It's hard to sit specific on it, but you can certainly do a approximate. If everybody in a perfect world was doing exactly what they were meant to do, you could kind of see where you're at.
Right.
But yeah.
All right. Yeah, of course, because there's all different ways that we're making bonuses. So yeah, I'm just, since I'm trying to do this full time, once I'm not sick, or maybe while I'm sick.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to be able to kind of look forward as to what I might be able to achieve as I continue to try to grow the business.
Exactly. And it's a
Yeah.
good question.
So, yeah, I want to make a comment. This is Randy. My comment is that I've been in this business almost 2.5 years. I've been a consistent director for a long time. And what has held me up was the thinking that I had to have 3 senior directors or senior brand partners one in each leg in my own organization that were personally sponsored. And it wasn't until a conversation with Annie this past week that I realized it doesn't have to be personally sponsored. It can be any senior director in that line, which is really important to know because it drives how we lead. And the only reason I'm saying this to everybody now is that you don't have to wait 2.5 years to become a senior director. If you focus your attention and you can understand that you are helping your entire organization grow no matter where those people come from. It makes a huge, huge, huge difference to understand that one thing. So I just want to put that comment out.
And, Randy, that is a wonderful, comment. And that was a really good epiphany on this. And I'll tell you, we grew our son to national marketing director with only him having 3 personally sponsored active brand partners that did absolutely nothing but get an ADO. So you could imagine, $240 a month and growing an organization that we placed people in that organization and that we helped grow them organizations in all 3 of his legs. And the same with, my other kids. Okay. But here's the thing, your personals, whoever they are, you're growing people under them. And they're so lucky that they actually came into your organization because, I always say whoever's really focused on building a business, oh my gosh, their friends and family that understand that, they are the luckiest people in the world because they have to do very, very little to be in an organization like that. If you're not growing an organization, whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you are a builder and people understand that you're a builder, whoever you bring into your organization is the luckiest people on the planet, because this is a business of growing everyone. And if you're a builder and you really want to build this business, that's another reason why people want to be part of your organization. So that was a good question and good comment. Anybody else want to share something? It's very helpful for us. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, I know we went a long time, but as I said, this week we're going to be doing some foundational business to promote our new year. And so I really, really appreciate you getting on today. I know it's holiday time, but I think our planning is going to be very, very important to us for the new year. And for those of you that are on here that have that desire, you're going to be able to bring this to your team and be able to lead your team with a lot more knowledge on how to foundationally build a business. And I will tell you, that is one of the key factors in any business, is building foundationally. So I really appreciate your time today, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you,
Bye.
Annie. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Annie,
you.
Thank you. You rock. Thank you.
Thanks, Annie.
Thanks, guys.